our channel. Today we're going to make a video on some standard scams out there on the internet. I wanted to make a series of videos to start warning people. As we all know, these scam videos are becoming more chronic, more dangerous, more sophisticated by the minute, right? I consider myself pretty savvy when it comes to some of these scams, and I think, well, I know all the scams out there, but actually I don't. I'm always surprised to find out, there's a new scam, and I'd say to myself, I thought I knew all the scams, but they always come up with something more creative and more sophisticated, right? So I'm going to start a series of videos that talk about some of these scams. In this video, I specifically want to talk about a couple of points and ways to avoid these scams. And I still see a lot of people either arguing this point or getting scammed or falling for this, right? So number one, I believe the majority of scams are successful because people answer phone calls from unknown callers, or they click on links that look legitimate, links, phishing scams, right, from your bank, or an email you get that looks legitimate and you're just not thinking, or you just click on the link thinking it looks legit, right? So those are the things we'll talk about today, but expect some other videos around this topic. When I see them and I read about them, I think I'm going to make a video just to help people out, and hopefully, people are actually watching some of these videos to, just educate themselves and things not to do. So, number one is make sure that you don't pick up calls from unknown contacts. So I think that's number one. So I found this website. I think it's from the Federal Communications Commission. It's a US website, but it talks about some of the obvious things that you should do, practice. So number one, and I believe this myself, is don't answer a call if you don't recognize the number. Now, some of you guys might have a job where, you got to answer a call. If you do, you do. Just kind of realize you may be getting scammed, and if it sounds like a scam, or if they're asking you for money or transfer money in any form, whether that's gift cards, anything, even if it's like small amount of money, just hang up and block that number, right? So number one, don't answer calls from unknown numbers. If the caller is legitimate, they'll leave you a voice note, and you can call them back. But be warned though, these scammers are using spoof numbers. Always go to the website in question. So if it's from a bank that you know about, let's say it's your bank, go to your bank's website, confirm the number, and phone the number from the website. Never respond to or call back the number that calls you. Now, most of the time it's just a spoof number. It is actually a legitimate number. They just spoof the number to make it look like from the bank because they want to get hold of you. They want to get hold of you. They want to talk to you. They want to convince you to send them money, and they don't want you to hang up. Most importantly, they don't want you to hang up because whatever scam they're about to hit you with relies on you to be on the phone talking to them so they can trick you, right? The most recent video I saw was about this Australian business owner who seemed very tech savvy. He knew, but they threw him off his guard because they said, well, we're not going to ask you for a password, and we just want to make sure that you're safe. And they play the game really well, sound very convincing, and of course are very friendly the whole time, making you comfortable with them, right? But the whole term is that they're just working you to the point where they can try and scam you somehow, right? So don't speak to these guys. Don't pick up the phone. Let it go to voicemail. If it is a legitimate call, it sounds like, I'm from your bank and we think your account's been compromised. Go to the website, call them back. Check your bank account yourself. Go online and see if your bank has actually been compromised. And 99% of the time it hasn't, right? But in this case with this Australian business guy, they said, we're not going to ask you for your password or any details because they had a lot of the details and information about this person. And at some point during the phone call, they asked him, we just need a one-time code from your authentication app and just to confirm your identity. And of course, he did it. He thought, well, will it do any harm or whatever. I don't know what he was thinking at the time, but he ended up giving it to them and then realizing straight away after he'd given it to them that he shouldn't have, right? So never give anyone information. No bank, no legitimate institution is going to ask you for anything. That includes bank codes, bank passwords, bank account numbers, your phone number, details. Never give them anything. If you call them, now it's different if you call them, you go to the website in question. Again, obviously be wary of any questionable websites. Sometimes you may think it's the right website, but it's not. But obviously I would hope you're familiar with your own bank's website, but go there and call back the number. And of course, when you do call in, they are going to ask you genuine questions, but you called them, remember. So when you call them, it's okay generally to give them information, but of course they're not going to ask you stuff like bank passwords or authentication app codes ever, right? They'll never ask you that. So again, always be wary of that information. Keep it closely guarded. Never share it with family, friends, or anyone, especially strangers on the phone, right? So the point here I'm trying to make is never answer calls. If it's not in your contacts, do not answer the call. Let it go to voicemail. And then 99% of the time, I think you will not get scammed, because if they can't get hold of you, they can't trick you, right? That's the point. If they get hold of you, then they can kind of trick you, right? If you still fear that, I mean, just get rid of your phone. Don't even have a phone. If you have a landline, get rid of the landline. And you know, the least amount of times they can contact you, the better, right? If they can't contact you, they can't scam you, basically, right? So the second point here is if you answer the phone call, the caller or a caller asks you to hit a button to stop getting the calls, you should just hang up. So again, scammers use this trick to identify potential targets. You're a legitimate person on the phone. You're not a machine or electronic machine or robot or Autobot answering calls. It's a human being. That's what they want to get, right? The third point here is do not respond to any questions, especially those that can be answered yes or no. I guess they can answer different questions, ask different questions. Your name, is your name Peter, or is your name whatever, right? Do you live at this address, right? So don't confirm in the information if they did get hold of you. Again, if they're asking you these type of questions to begin with, hang up and block them, right? Well, you may not want to block them if it is a legitimate number, they've just spoofed it, if it is a bank number. But again, your bank should never call you. You should always call them, right? So always kind of remember that there should be absolutely no reason a bank should call you. Now, there are obvious reasons, like sometimes if your card is compromised, they will try to get hold of you. Again, if they get hold of you, let them leave a voicemail, and then call them back. Check your bank account. Check if your card's been compromised. You can see if there's some transactions on your card that do not look like ones that you made, right? Okay, so never give out your personal information. So a lot of the stuff is pretty obvious, but they still get people that provide this information, right? It's you know, and people that are savvy people. So I'm not talking about the people that are older, the older generation. I'm talking about very old folk that just don't realize. I'm talking about people that should know not to give out this information, right? So never do that. Okay, if you get an inquiry from someone who says they represent a company, you know, a bank, a clothing company that you buy at, they're going to try and somehow your information has been compromised and they know you've made a purchase at Macy's or you made a purchase at, you know, a store that you shop at regularly. Somehow they've got hold of your credit card statement and they can see what purchases. So they'll phone you and say, I'm paying from this company and you made this purchase because they have stolen information, right? And they'll throw you off your guard because you think it's legitimate because they actually know that information, right? So hang up and call the phone number on your account statement. Just like I said, call that number that's on your statement in the phone book on the company government agency's website, right? And call them back and confirm if whatever they tell you is accurate and true, right? Okay, use caution if you're being pressured for information. Okay, people, they're going to try and pressure you, they're going to try and keep you on the phone, they don't want you to hang up, right? Never stay on the phone. Never fall for any tricks or scams. They might phone you. They might phone and say, "Oh, I'm phoning from the police station, and you're going to come over and arrest you." And then what you can tell them is, "Come over and arrest me." And if it's legitimate, they can show up at your door anyway. They're certainly not going to phone you and warn you that they're coming, right? So it's all nonsense, right? So please don't. Again, to protect yourself, 90% of the time, don't answer the call, right? Just simply do not answer the call. Let it go to voicemail. Then you can make an educated guess whether it is legitimate. If you have a voicemail account with the phone service, be sure to set a password for it. Some voicemail services are preset to allow access if you're calling from your own number. A hacker could spoof your home number and gain access to your voicemail if you have not set a password. And this just could allow them to steal voicemail messages, and if somebody's left you legitimate information on your voicemail, then they could steal that, right? Okay, talk to your phone company about blocking tools and check in apps that can download to your mobile device. So a lot of apps will allow you to block calls, right? I think most modern phones will allow that. I know for sure on my iPhone I can block calls, and I don't think there's a limit. If I suspect anyone is a spammer or illegitimate, I get any of these calls phoning from airlines, promise me gifts and rewards and money, I just block them, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it likely is, right? If anyone calls you say you're going to win money, it's likely a scam, right? So use common sense when you do listen to these voicemails. Don't call back the numbers that phone you. Go to the website, find out, do some research, and then just realize that 99% of the time, if someone's promising you something and it sounds too good to be true, it is, which means they're lying to you and they're trying to get a hold of you, and in order to get a hold of you so they can scam you, right? So that's my 2 cents. So I just want to finish that up with, I think most people should be wary or know what phishing scams are. Even if you get a legitimate email in your inbox that looks like it's from your bank or looks like it's from a company that you use, and it looks legitimate, the link looks perfect, never click on it. Never ever click on an email link in an email, ever. There's no reason for you to. It's very tempting, it's legitimate. There are some cases you've just requested a password from your bank and you're expecting it, then chances are it's legitimate, right? But sort of 95% of the time, always go to the website in question, even if the email looks legit. We're lazy as human beings. I think we're just lazy. We like to just take the easiest path and click on stuff, right? But don't. Go to your browser, go to the URL bar and type in your bank or click on a bookmark link to your bank. Go to your bank, log in that way. Never click on links. So the two main takeaways from this video, I hope that people listen to, is don't answer unknown callers, don't click on links in your email or ever. Anyway, email, you're texting. If you get a text saying, "Oh, this is a text from your airline," don't click on that. You get a text from the government, either the IRS or the CRA, saying, "Oh, you've won money," or you're getting some tax return, a refund. Never click on those links. Go to the CRA website, go to the IRS website and log in via that way. Never click on a link. Never click on any text links ever. You get a text, delete it, block it, right? The first thing, always make sure you block these calls, because it'll stop, because these caller numbers or these calls or numbers, which can be a lot of spoof numbers. A lot of them are coming out of the States. They're spoofing number out of the US. Are just random numbers that they pick and they call you with. Like a lot of them, you can actually tell it's just a scam because the numbers a US number or something, right? It's not a local number, right? And so it's easy just to block them. It's not going to impact you at all, right? Sometimes you will block a legitimate number, and so be it. It happens, right? That's okay. But yeah, just make sure you always block these numbers. So if you block these numbers, then when they try and spoof that same number again in a day's time, a week's time, a month's time, it's not going to be able to get you because you've already blocked it, right? So it's really important to block these numbers, block these emails, block these guys. And then you'll notice over time you'll get less and less calls, and then the chances of you getting actually scammed is less and less, right? So anyway, a lot of these companies are making, like our communication vendors, are making some headway in just, telling people about all these scams, educating them, but also like the telecommunication companies, the phone companies are actually filtering a lot of these spammers. They know about these calls, and then they just block them anyway, right, before they get to you, right? But I think we're a long way from that. Calls will still keep coming, and we'll still keep answering them. We just need to train ourselves and educate ourselves not to answer those calls. Anyway, thank you for watching. Enjoy, and let me know if you need or you'd like to see a specific topic being talked about around scams and scamming, and I can do some research and to maybe do a video on that. Always add to the comment section, share the video, hit that like button, and get this video out there to help as many people as possible. And yeah, it will help the channel out as well. The more people that can see the video, the more we can help them from getting scammed. My intent here is to genuinely help people from getting scammed. We see too many people losing money. It's not right. People losing their life savings, and putting people into a very precarious situation because they have no money once they do get scammed, right? So anyway, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.